All right, we'll start with the markets. I know that's a little unusual for us, but we're starting with the markets. We're going to be up about 63 points for the Dow Industrials. Not a bad start to this Wednesday morning. How about the share price of Apple, which was down about 3% yesterday? It's going to open a little bit lower this morning, flat to slightly lower. They've started accepting orders for the iPad Pro. That's the news on Apple this morning. Let's see later if it recovers its lost ground. The price of gasoline, we give this to you every single morning at this time, $2.20. That is your national average for regular. I'm still hoping for $2 by Christmas. However, the big news this morning is clearly the roadmap to prosperity that the Republicans rolled out in the debate last night. There were some memorable moments, and here they are. Roll tape.
We are a country of laws. We need borders. We will have a wall. The wall will be built. The wall will be successful.
Thank you for not asking me what I said in the 10th grade. I appreciate that.
We can't even have an economy if we're not safe. There are radical jihadists in the Middle East beheading people and crucifying Christians.
All this has to be done, and the citizens of this nation must help a President Fiorina get it done. We must take our government back.
Hillary Clinton has said that Barack Obama's policies get an A. Really?
If Republicans join Democrats as the party of amnesty, we will lose.
I do not think we are any safer from bankruptcy court. As we go further and further into debt, we become less and less safe.
It's not an adult argument. It makes no sense.
All I can say is you're lucky in Ohio that you struck oil.
Yeah, some amusing moments, weren't there? Joining us this morning to discuss the above, Ashley Webster, Liz Peake, and Rich Lowry, who joins us this morning. And go through the whole batch here, all three of you. The question that the viewers are asking is, who won? Liz?
American voters won because they finally got a chance to see intelligent policies rolled out by the Republicans running for office in a forum in which those opinions were taken seriously. I'm serious.
I agree with you.
No, they really, we needed to have those ideas out there. They finally got out there. Otherwise, personality-wise,
yes.
Rubio, Cruz, and Bush, because he didn't do a bad job.
Who won? Ash?
I would say, and I wrote down Rubio, I think he was polished, another strong performance. My only concern about him, does he have the gravitas to fill the Oval Office?
Who did you say again?
Rubio.
Rubio, okay. So we've got two for Rubio, vaguely. Rich Lowry?
Ted Cruz, with Rubio a close second. Cruz was flawless, as usual. That exchange he had with John Kasich over bailouts was absolute gold for Ted Cruz, for his voters. He needs the conservative grassroots out in Iowa. They loved every single moment of that. And Rubio was always good. I thought he was a tick off his game, but just a tick.
Okay, I want to focus on Donald Trump for just one moment. Here's how he responded to one of the big issues of the day, which was the rise, the possible rise in the minimum wage. Roll the Trump tape on that.
We are a country that is being beaten on every front, economically, militarily. There is nothing that we do now to win. We don't win anymore.
So do not raise the minimum wage.
I would not raise the minimum.
To you first. Now, Trump has dominated past debates with his style over substance. Do you feel that that style is beginning to look a little old?
Well, he tried to be more subdued, and I underline the word tried, because he couldn't help himself, slapping down John Kasich. And then the dig, which played very poorly in the audience, and I think more broadly, the dig at Carly Fiorina for interrupting. When everyone interrupts, every single person on that stage interrupts at some moment. So why was he so particularly irritated at her?
Agreed.
Yeah, he did say, why is she always interrupting? That was his comment.
Yeah. And
you're right,
he got roundly
didn't do well. I'm going to stay on the minimum wage. The candidates took a very different stance from the Democrats, for sure. I'm going to start with Ben Carson. Roll his tape. He was there for a second.
He was there. So Ben Carson had the best argument about the minimum wage, which is something we should be talking more about. That basically, as a young man, he got a job with no credentials, no experience, and people took a chance on him because they didn't have to pay him an enormous amount of money. This is a big conversation here. Should teenagers be paid $15 an hour, et cetera? In France, this became a big issue. This is a stupid idea that everyone should be paid the same minimum minimum wage.
Yeah, he made that argument very clearly and very well.
You think that was a winning point for Ben Carson?
Yes,
absolutely.
I do.
And the Republican candidates emerged united in their opposition to what the Democrats are saying, $15 an hour. How did it come across from the Republican point of view when they made that point, Rich?
Oh, I think it was great, and I think you're absolutely right. Carson stated it so beautifully. Carson is interesting. It's kind of a typical Carson debate in some ways. Very strong at the beginning, extremely strong at the end with a memorable closing statement yet again. Kind of disappeared in the middle, but that doesn't seem to have ever hurt him in any of these events before.
I think if you wrap it all up, it seemed to me that the Republicans presented a united front in how we re-achieve prosperity. United in the sense that they're the diametric opposite of the Democrats. Democrats, all government all the time. Republicans, free enterprise, small government. That's what came across to me. That's why I think you're absolutely right. The voter was the winner last night. You got a clear choice.
Yeah, and they said it well. I mean, Carly Fiorina's thing about American special sauce is entrepreneurship and innovation. You cannot hear that often enough. It's a great line.
Okay, I want to go back to that soundbite, which I missed, actually, on Ben Carson and again on Rubio. I think this is all minimum wage. Roll that tape.
Every time we raise the minimum wage, the number of jobless people increases. How do we allow people to ascend the ladder of opportunity rather than how do we give them everything and keep them dependent? I would not raise it specifically because I'm interested in making sure that people are able to enter the job market and take advantage of opportunities.
If you raise the minimum wage, you're going to make people more expensive than a machine. And that means all this automation that's replacing jobs and people right now is only going to be accelerated. Here's the best way to raise wages. Make America the best place in the world to start a business or expand an existing business. Tax reform and regulatory reform. Bring our debt under control. Fully utilize our energy resources so we can reinvigorate manufacturing.
You know, Rich, it's going to be very easy for the Democrats to demagogue what the Republicans said. You lower taxes, it's a giveaway to the rich. You don't raise the minimum wage, well, you're hitting poor workers. I mean, it's going to be easy to go up against what the Republicans said last night.
Of course. But the Republicans have to come back, one, to the research, which most of which shows you raise the minimum wage to $15, you're going to bounce people out of lower-level jobs. And those jobs, as Carson pointed out, they're not just jobs. It's not just income. They are training those entry-level jobs for everything it takes to succeed in this society.
But will that argument beat the counter-argument from the Democrats? They're not prepared to give a living wage. Look at them making millions of dollars a year, and those poor guys behind the counter at McDonald's, they're scraping by.
It's an issue they'll be playing defense about.
You know, how's an audience going to react to that? You make the case that raising the minimum wage is not good for workers. That's a difficult case to make in public, in the arena.
Yeah, but I thought the candidates made the consequences of raising that minimum wage very clear last night. I thought they did a very good job.
And I think small business is a very sympathetic ploy here. I mean, it's really small businesses that struggle to pay $15 an hour, in addition to the food service organizations and so forth. But you know, that's a very compelling argument, I think.
Mike Huckabee, by the way, Governor Huckabee, he will be with us at 10:50 this morning. Governor Huckabee is the guy who wants a consumption tax. He calls it a fair tax, but essentially he's all about consumption as opposed to taxing income. On the show this morning at 10:50.